Attention, listener, I have an assignment for you. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to engage with the Real Nerds, aka the best podcast on the internet. You can listen to their episodes on their website, realnerdspodcast.com. And you can also listen to them on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow their social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This message will self-destruct never.
I'm Andre Gower.
And I'm Ryan Lambert.
And you're listening to
Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Pop Culture Con 2020 Thanksgiving edition. I am Ryan. With me is Brad and Zach, and we have a special guest today joining us all the way from Canada. Steve, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, my name is Steve Kasan. I am from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and home of the reigning world NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors. Hopefully the season doesn't end, so it's still the champs. But yeah, I am here, and I am excited to talk about one of the best Arnold movies, one of the best movies that kind of like breaks down the entire film industry and also action films, Last Action Hero.
Oh, man, I can't ask for a better introduction than that. Yeah,
look at that, right?
Yeah, I love your shirt, too. We got some Batman, Superman going on.
That's right.
I refuse to call it Batman v Superman. I call it Batman Superman. So
no?
that's my weird thing. Yeah.
Speaking of introductions, Henry's here, Ryan.
I'm also here, by the way.
Is he?
I'm Henry.
There you are.
So it's good to see you all guys.
Wait, let me switch to gallery view. Oh, there you are.
Hi, nice to see you. So, I'm also here.
From New York. So we have two East Coasters with us and international flavor.
Uh-oh.
Man,
we're
just broadening our horizons. Before we get into Last Action Hero, which is our retro film of the week, Steve, why don't you tell us about yourself? You have quite the impressive IMDb page.
Yeah, that I have an IMDb page that shows that I'm an actor, so that's proof right there. So I've been acting, I would say, plus 8 years now, mostly in Toronto. I've done a lot of indie productions and a lot of union gigs, and one of some of my recent stuff right now on Netflix, I'm starring in the body horror thriller called Life Changer, which is pretty cool. It's very David Cronenberg, this type of thing. It's also a Christmas movie, which ties into this one. I'm also in a couple of episodes for the Vice docuseries called Dark Side of the Ring. It's a series that looks at all the majority of tragedies, but a lot of behind-the-scenes stories of wrestling with World Wrestling Federation, WWE, ECW, and the Independents, NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, all that stuff. It's a really cool series. The Rock endorses it, so that's one, so you should check that out. And also another genre film called She Never Died, which is sort of like a follow-up sequel to He Never Died, the Henry Rollins film. That's on VOD right now. So everything's going to be on VOD. So you can check me out on those stuff. And yeah, the entire industry is on hiatus. So until it comes back, that's it so far. I don't know what else is coming out. They'll tell me.
That's awesome. You know, I always said I'm a big fan of the WWF up to about 2003. Right, but I always said that the behind the scenes is also really fascinating. Because there's so many personalities that clash.
Mm-hmm. There's the good thing about this series is that you do get, well, there's 2 seasons. Season 1, you learn about Macho Man and Elizabeth. You learn about Bruiser Brody. If there's a big name in the wrestling community, but also you learn about the Montreal Screwjob with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. But this season we've tackled some more individuals. Our season opener was Chris Benoit. That's a 2-parter. That's also with Eddie Guerrero. And there's a lot. That's a very heavy episode.
That's heavy.
But we also there's also an episode about Jimmy Snuka and about his murder case, and that's another thing. And one of the most recent ones was about Dino Bravo. If you remember him, he was with Jimmy Hart back in the day. He also teamed up with Andre the Giant to go against Hogan and everything as such. But an interesting story about him is that Dino Bravo, he's also a Canadian wrestler from Quebec, and is after his WWE run was done, well, can't really get a job anything else, but you can get a job as a mob enforcer, and he became one for the Montreal mob. And the thing is, and in that story, no spoilers here, but he dies, and they don't know if it's a mob hit or something else, and it's an ongoing case. The end of the episode is a tip line because the case is still open. So there's stories like that. And the last episode was about Herb Abrams. He's a passionate guy from the late 80s that tried to go against Vince in 89 and 90, and it's practically Scarface come to life, man. It's crazy. But you'll learn a lot of cool stuff, but the one thing is that if you're a wrestling fan, if you're not a wrestling fan, it's still a journalistic television series, and you learn a lot. You learn that they're not just wrestlers; they're people, and they're crazy stories. So.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too about wrestling. The Montreal Screwjob alone, one of my most favorite Blu-rays I actually have is it's Bret Michaels and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels sitting down and talking to each other about how they became friends, and then how Shawn was dependent on alcohol and drugs, and he started slipping away, and Bret tried to stay with the WWE, but he couldn't because they weren't offering him enough. It's the most crazy thing you've ever seen, and man, I have to check that out because I am fascinated with behind the scenes of wrestling. Beyond the Mat is one of my most favorite documentaries because it really explores that you maybe not aware of.
That's the truth too. Is that like everything you see on camera is fun. I think Jesse Ventura said that wrestling's like politicians. Like everyone's going against each other, like in front of the cameras, but behind the curtains, everyone's friends, and there's a lot of backstabbing and everything behind the curtains. And now that I would say, like in the mid '90s, when things started to shift, when he got with WCW with Nitro, and then ECW started spurging, like when they got popular, and Vince became more of take on that role of saying, yeah, this is my company, and I'm not an announcer. I run the WWF, and so you start to learn all these secrets and all these ideas, like all these things about what happens backstage, and that from then has really taken over. Like that's kind of like the main story. And even now is like you go online on Twitter, it's like, oh, who's going to AEW, and who's going to be still at WWE, and what's happening here? Oh, the WWE let go of all these guys. Is Zack Ryder going to AEW? It's like no, and then blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. So behind the scenes, like with film, everything behind the scenes is more interesting than the actual film. So.
What's your favorite part about making films? Is it as a producer or as an actor?
This sounds cliche. It sounds really corny, but for me, I think with all actors is that for me personally, I would say I'm living lives that I don't get to live because my life is boring. but it's exciting when I'm playing a role, when I'm playing a character. For instance, on Amazon Prime, there's this time travel series where I play the lead, and my character gets a time travel. Okay, how do I figure this out? And that's the one thing about actors, right? Or even when you're acting, if you want it to be good, at least you got to make it good by making it real. And how do you make it real? By you believing it's real. Okay, so I just told myself, okay, if I'm going to be a time traveler, how would that be like? And everything as such. So I got to believe that I can time travel. And that's a life that I'm living for that series. Same thing with Life Changers, that I'm living a life of someone in this. I play a detective in that story, but I'm living this in this world, and there's this creature out there who changes life forms and everything as such, and all these other things. So for me, it's about living lives. Like I can't do any Grand Theft Auto shit in real life, but I can do it on the camera. So that's the thing, living lives as an actor, and that's the biggest plus for me.
That's cool. And what made you get into the film industry? Because you said for 8 years. So
Yeah.
did a turning point happen in your life to make you want to be an actor?
Actually, I always wanted to be in film or create and write stories and such. At first, I wanted to be a screenwriter and everything behind the scenes and all that. And this relates to Arnold. My favorite film of all time is Conan the Barbarian, because when I saw that as a kid, like I saw films and all that other shit, but when I saw a film like this movie, it piqued my interest into saying like wow, there's a movie like this that it's like it's based on a comic, but it's like it's bloody, it's epic, it's everything like that. Like this is all the stuff I like, right? And that made me say like, okay, if this film exists, then I can do this as well. Like I can get into this industry and tell this type of story. And then I always written, but in terms of acting, is that what really pushed me is that I would say in mid 2000s I lost my job, and because there were entire layoffs of the company, and that's when I said, okay, if I really want to get into this, we'll really pursue it. Like now's the time. And I got onto sets via being a background actor, just because I wanted to meet people and everything, and then just caught the acting bug, and after that just go take two classes, got onto more sets. One of the first sets I got onto was as a background actor was one day on Dawn of the Dead, because it was shooting in a suburb next to Toronto, and this was before nobody knew who Zach was and everything like that. So if I knew that back then, it's like, oh shit. Then the other big one was Total Recall, because that film they were Colin Farrell. I still haven't seen that movie, so I don't know how that is.
You don't want to watch it just to see you in the background?
But that's the thing. Like I asked, I did like around 9 days on that, and I asked like, hey, can you see me? It's like, no, you can't see me. It's like, oh,
No.
Then but then just getting onto those sets and meeting people, and also getting into the scene here in Toronto and everything, and driving out to other provinces or like / states in Canada and everything like that. Just driving and getting myself out there to where I have on my IMDb it's like over 150 credits or something like that. And
yeah, you have like 180, I think, last time I saw.
Oh shit!
Danny Trejo to run for his money.
I know, like watch out. But that's the thing, like just keep on going at it. And now that it's a small little hiatus, that still doesn't stop. There's still ways to make stuff and make content, even through what we have here. So
yeah.
just keep on going at it. Anything you can do, anything I can do creatively and flex my acting muscle, yeah, just do that.
That's awesome.
Well, Conan the Barbarian was the one that all the time on my birthday I always watch it as a reminder. It's like, okay, this is why I want to get into it.
That's funny. Most movie fans, I think, have a moment in their life where they remember their favorite film. It's a turning point for everybody. Mine is Army of Darkness, and I remember being at Kmart and picking up the video cassette. I'm old. Picking up the video cassette and going, man, that cover is so cool, and it stuck with me forever.
Do you have the VHS cover where it's like it's not a regular cover, but you open it?
Yeah, it's gold.
Yeah, I have that. I have that too.
Nice. It's because it looks like Conan or the Barbarian. It's like he's all ripped and holding his hands up with the sword.
Yeah, it's got the chainsaw up here, and it got the girl down here, and then in the back of the Chevy and everything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So badass, yo.
See, I knew we were on the same page when you mentioned how much you love Last Action Hero. Because,
oh my gosh, dude.
So this week on Real Nerds Podcast, because the movie theaters are closed, we've been doing a lot of retro reviews, and we've made it our mission for a special edition of Last Action Hero to come out on 4K.
The greatest campaign one could ever hope to create.
Yes.
I
mean, people are raising money for nurses. We're trying to raise awareness for the ultimate 4K edition of Last Action Hero. But which is really cool is you reached out to us because you said how much this movie is, how much you like this film, and you're a huge Schwarzenegger fan. And you mentioned Conan the Barbarian. Is that the first? Is that the first Schwarzenegger film you saw, or is that the first one you remember making a difference?
I think the first one I saw, I believe, was Commando, because when I was a kid, we used to live in my dad. The first time I remember watching movies and such was that my dad got a job in Dubai and all our family was there and everything. I just lived there for a bit. I lived in Dubai and also in London. But my earliest memory of watching movies was in Dubai. And the thing is that over there, they love the action movies, right? So the first one I saw of Schwarzenegger was Commando. And that was in line with Rambo and all the action movies and everything. But when I saw Commando, like that was the first one with Arnold. Now, what got me when I started to mature and everything and start to learn who Arnold is and everything like that, that's when I became a fan, because I can relate to him in a way, like immigrant coming over here, stateside, making a name for himself, using what he has, which is his bodybuilding, his body, and with his accent, his long name, and everything. At least, like the guy's the king. Like no matter what, he may have his faults, he may not like his politics or whatever, or blah blah blah, like back then, or you may say he's a womanizer or whatever. Who cares? Like the point is that if you look at what he's done, that's inspiring, and that to me, he became my idol. Now, so already a Schwarzenegger fan, but that's for life, in terms of like my life goals and how I want to progress in life. But progressing movie wise, it was Conan, because when I saw Conan, again, when I said it speaks to what my interests are. If like fantasy films, having like these great big epic movies like Lawrence of Arabia, like Ben-Hur, the Ten Commandments. I like those type of films because they're, not to overuse the word epic, but because those are timely in a way. And when I saw Conan, and the thing about that, yeah, it's based on a comic book, it's a fantasy, but the production of it is that the production design is that they wanted to make it feel real, that you were watching, you step into a real world. Like Hyberia is a real world to it. And it's sort of like with Lord of the Rings, like you see all these relics and everything in Fellowship, right? Like we're stepping into a world that feels tangible, you can feel it, you can touch it, and that's what Conan the Barbarian is. So all these elements come together. It's like it's really spoke to me. It's like wow, it's a film like this exists. So then I said to myself, well, if someone did this, well, I can do the same thing, and that pushed me forward.
That's awesome. And we'll segue now into Last Action Hero.
A great classic comes to the screen.
Take thy hand, fair prince.
Who said I'm fair? To be or not to be? Not to be.
Columbia Pictures is proud to present the screen's greatest action hero, Jack Slater.
Don't even think it, Slater, you hear me?
This is the Lieutenant Governor.
Slater, here's what I... The governor gets here, call me.
And Danny Madigan is his biggest fan.
Jack Slater 4.
But tonight, a magic ticket...
It's a passport to another world.
...will get Danny closer to the action than anyone ever dreamed.
Holy cow! I'm in the movie!
Who the hell are you?
Don't shoot me! I'm Danny Madigan, I'm a kid.
And you're going with him.
Who is this twerp? And where is that smile on his face?
I don't even know these kids.
To a world that's bigger than life.
This ticket is magic, and it really works.
And better than real.
You really believe that you're inside a movie, don't you?
Yes! The bad guys are in there. I've seen it. On screen.
Could I speak to the drug dealer of the house, please? Have a nice day.
Have him killed.
This summer, it's head-on thrills.
I have killed people smarter and younger than you.
Head-first excitement.
I hate when it happens.
He's got the ticket!
Now I possess power. Real power.
He's going over to my world!
In this world, the bad guys can win.
The door must still be open, come on!
If I go,
How do I get back?
And it's coming at you from both sides of the screen.
Where am I now?
This isn't the movies anymore, Jack. Please be careful. Things were different here.
Damn it, that hurt.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Jack Slater.
This hero stuff has its limits.
And Jack Slater is...
Everybody down! Now!
the last action hero. The big ticket for 93.
I'll be back. Ha! You did not gonna say that, did you?
That's what you always say.
I do?
I've been a champion of this film for a really long time because and Schwarzenegger's role in the film, because he's such a great actor in this movie that he's playing himself, playing a character, playing the action hero that he is, all in one. And it's I was watching it with Brad the last a couple nights ago, and just his performance alone, and we've talked that this movie is so far ahead of its time that it's winking at you while it's playing a smart screenplay. And I don't know if this movie's ever been touched since then in terms of meta towards the audience.
I think I see stuff on, like, I see stuff on Twitter when people mention my Last Action Hero, but like as an actual dissection of the film, like I think it doesn't really get brought up because, as you said, like, this movie is really ahead of its time in how it deconstructs. Let's look at Arnold and how he really deconstructs himself as not only a person but a megastar. Now, we got to think like this is back in the 90s where any megastars or any big stars back then wouldn't even think about like deconstructing themselves. Now it's like every day. You see like all the Avengers cast and everything, the moment they get a chance to make fun of themselves, that's great, because that adds more to their profile. But this is like Arnold back then, like he was in on the joke. That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
And as you said, like him as an actor in this, when Arnold steps into the real world and really sees himself, like he sees Arnold, or when Jack Slater sees Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then he asks all these questions to Dan, he's like, this is like, what am I? Like, my life doesn't exist. And these are little subtle like moments of acting where, yeah, you get the caricature of Arnold, and I won't be the first to say he's a great actor or anything like that, but he does have his moments, and with the right people too, especially with like James Cameron and John McTiernan. And in here, you see those moments where when he comes into our world and it really hits him, and he sees that as Jack Slater. And then when he has that face-to-face with Arnold, and it says, "You brought me a lot of pain," like that's, in a way, like that's Arnold talking about himself, right? Like, and we see it like nowadays with big movie stars and all the pressure of like the public and the press and everything as such. And this is like a small little hints of what's to come for future stars, I would say.
I agree. And you brought up a really great point. This movie opens with Schwarzenegger playing Jack Slater.
Yeah.
And right away, you're either in this movie or you're not, because it's him walking across the cars. They get the close up of his boots, which I read he's very particular about throughout the whole when they're starting to make the film. But then it's you want to be a farmer. Here's a couple of acres, and he kicks the dude in the nuts, and he goes flying. Right away, you have to be sucked into this world.
Yeah.
And what's brilliant about this movie, and you brought it up when he comes into the real world, is the film breaks at the climax of Jack Slater 3. And later in the film, you learn that he failed and that his son was killed by the strangler when he's falling over the edge,
And also by his own arrogance of
exactly
like how he tries to defeat the Ripper. So
the Ripper, thank you. And that plays into it when he comes into the real world and he realizes all this pain that he's had for losing his son, because it's Jack Slater 4, doesn't exist. It's everything you have is irrelevant.
And also Jack Slater is such a tragic character as well. Like when he gets fired, right, or when he gets suspended from and he goes to his apartment basically, and he kills the ninja and everything. And then he asked Danny, he's like, all these things start happening to me and I keep surviving. Like, why is that? Why am I surviving here? And Danny's like, oh no, you gotta keep the revenue up. You need the sequel money and everything like that. Like you gotta do all of this. And really, like, if you think about like Jack Slater as a character, like hearing all of this is like, then what am I like? My life doesn't exist except for revenue. And that's tragic, right?
No, it is. It's, you know, it plays throughout the whole film because, you know, he refuses to believe, he thinks he's real when Danny is first in there, and he doesn't understand why. You're right. You brought up that he doesn't understand why he keeps on surviving stuff, because his arrogance is stripped away like a peels of an onion.
Yeah.
You know, because Danny's telling him, he says, you survive because you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he has no idea who that is. They reference Stallone is in Terminator 2. And
it's his greatest performance.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
It really is. And it is interesting because when you read the making of this movie, they had something like 12 screenwriters. You know, it was a disaster from the beginning. And, but you watch it and you realize you're watching someone make comments about themselves while they're a fictional character in a movie. And to me, when I was younger, I didn't get it. I liked it because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And as you get older, you go, holy cow, this movie is deeper than a lot of films that claim to be deep.
It's brilliant, right? Like, I think that's the thing, is that when I saw this as a kid, like first, like I'm sure everybody, we saw Jurassic Park first. And then when we couldn't get in to see Jurassic Park, went to see Last Action Hero or something like that. I know that was the case with me.
Yep.
Because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, big action movie, and also a PG movie that I can go see. Like, this is great. So then, actually, when I go watch it, like, stunts, I didn't get it at all. But now, when I'm maturing and when I'm my age now, when I rewatch it, like, you do get it. You do understand not only, you do understand Jack Slater's character, all the messages the movie's making, and also, if you parallel it to now, like, we have reemerged in an age of remakes, reboots, sequels, and franchises. Like, there's everything that this movie's talking about back in '93. It's all happening again now. Although there is some self-aware to it, but it is all happening.
Yeah,
all about known properties and everything like that.
Yeah, because they're even the movie is building up the premiere of Jack Slater 4, where it's larger than life. And you know, back then they couldn't believe that Sony would go to the lengths to promote Last Action Hero. And now you go, you don't even see a movie without the tie-in toys, you know, the huge billboards, and Brad and I were and Brad and I were commenting when a couple days ago when we were watching it, that the stunts in it, you know, you don't see the stunts of the cars, him walking across cars or getting hit by cars as much anymore. It's all CGI. And
that one shot where later in the movie, after Jack Slater crosses into the real world and the taxi cab, like Danny gets out, and it's a single shot of him, like the kid getting out of the car, and then the car takes off, and it stays on this one shot until it collides with the opposing car in the alley. That's just, you know, not CGI. That's a pretty sort of dangerous to have the kid like off the side there doing that. And you can see the cables for the car in case there's like they need to pull it back for some reason. But it's something like that would just be CGI today.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know, it's, and even the Ian McKellen shows up as Death, and he has kind of an existential purpose, and it's just, I think. I try to pinpoint where this film went wrong when it was released. I mean, it still made $80 million, so you're like, is it, you know, how big of a flop could it possibly be?
But to an Arnold movie, that's kind of low, right? Like,
well, I mean, he just came off Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a good choice for him to do this movie next because it's more lighthearted, but then it also adds layers to who he was, because even in Terminator 2, which I think's a great film, it even has that moment where, you know, the Terminator comes up after they defeat the T-1000 and he says, I need a vacation, where it has parts of Last Action Hero in it. And I was I tell my friends that there's a art to delivering one-liners that Schwarzenegger has that not very many people can match. And that's why I'm not a big Vin Diesel fan, because I think he's not good at it. He lacks the charisma of a Schwarzenegger.
I think you make a point. Like the thing is that like every time you hear about actors talk about Arnold or even other directors, producers, is that they always say like Arnold's a really funny guy, and he's really smart. Like even though he doesn't show it off as much, but even like prior to like his film roles or anything as such, but he's really aware of everything. And I think that's why it works with Last Action Hero. That's why he was comfortable in making fun of himself, because he's aware of the joke. It's better. He's smart enough to know that to get in on the joke, it's better than waiting to be on the joke. So as soon as you can get on top of it first, it's kind of you're ahead of the game. Like the best example I can give is is Drake, in a way. In that if you really follow Drake and such, is that he's aware of how corny he is. He doesn't need others to tell you how corny he is. And when he realizes there's a meme or a movement or anything like that, he's quick to capitalize on it, because then you can't use that against him. So in a way, like that's a great example of like Arnold's understanding. Yeah, I know I have the accent, I got the muscles, I'm this bigger than life like cartoon character, right? Like I cannot be like brought down. Like at his peak, you cannot bring it down. Let's look at Total Recall. Like that film is a quintessential Arnold movie. It's so big, it's so gigantic. Like, and is that that's a movie that has to fit to Arnold's character. And that's almost like with Last Action Heroes, that you gotta go extreme because you gotta fit to Arnold's persona. One of his biggest challenges in movie wise is the Predator. Okay, how do you get a foe to go against Arnold? Well, you got like an 8-foot guy, 8-foot alien to go against Arnold, because that's the peak. He was that big. And is that he knows all of this and he's aware of the joke. So as long as I'm a step ahead with the joke, you can't use it against me.
And I think you're 100% right, Steve. What you just said there was so smart, because I think he is so far ahead of where people expect him to be. Not only in Last Action Hero, but Predator is my favorite Schwarzenegger film, and I think it's because you're right. The opening of Predator is him and these commandos, and they can't be beat, and they're just mowing people down. Well, what happens when they're systematically wiped out by someone who's smarter and stronger than they are?
Yeah.
And how does he defeat that enemy? And I love that parallel. As you go through Schwarzenegger's filmography, he does touch on all of those, whether it's political stuff, and even in Red Heat, where it's political, you still get the Schwarzenegger moments. And his later stuff, Aftermath and Maggie, I think he's amazing in. And that's him relying, because he knows he can't be the muscle guy anymore.
No,
that's him relying on his acting ability and his vulnerability, which not too many actors in his era continue. I think him and Stallone are really the only ones I can pinpoint that still continue that.
Yeah.
But I think about like Arnold in a way has an edge on Stallone, as you mentioned, with his vulnerability, as like with his fragility, I would say. Because I just saw the last Rambo, and Stallone, even at his age, is still kicking ass, right?
It's like a slasher movie.
Yeah, pretty much. He gets beat up, but he's still whooping ass. He's unstoppable.
I feel like Schwarzenegger's more willing to be vulnerable than Stallone at times.
Yeah.
Like he's more willing to put himself in that dirt. And I don't and I don't know what Stallone's mentality is on it, but Schwarzenegger seems a little bit more willing to take risks at times.
I would say now, like as I mentioned, Maggie, Aftermath, even The Last Stand, which is really good. Also, one of my favorites is Sabotage.
Oh yeah,
that to me is a very underrated Arnold film, because now you get almost like a grizzled and really very anti-hero Arnold, almost like he's still a badass, but it's a different departure. It's a different type of badass where you really don't like the guy in a way, right? It's like if you look at his character in Sabotage and say in Raw Deal or something like that, there's still a badass, but you kind of like this character in Raw Deal because he has a charm and everything. In Sabotage, you can. He's an asshole.
Yep.
And all the characters are assholes, but they're gritty and grimy, and And I think that was a good departure for Arnold. I kind of like would like to see him do more roles like that, like what he can do.
I agree. We do have some. Brad, help refresh me. When we were watching Last Action Hero, we had some rules we're a little like mystified on. So, is the Jack Slater in that film reel the only one who's affected, or is every Jack Slater and Jack Slater 4 affected when people go watch it? Brad and I thought it'd be only the one that's in that film reel experienced, Danny and being sucked into the real world.
Yeah, because hypothetically, other theaters have the Jack Slater 4 print, and so they're screening it before it's released too. So
I'd argue it's the ticket logic, wherever the ticket is, because the ticket.
That's what I believe too. Yeah.
That's what's dictating the magic transference of the usher. So
it's just that real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense because it's basically a copy. It's just one of the things because I've seen the movie, I don't know, 100 times. I'm just trying to deconstruct some of the elements to it.
It makes perfect sense to guess that though, because when our lead bad guy goes into the other films, like you'd think he's populating other things. Like it would make sense. Like, well, maybe he's affected every other reel and stuff. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But it seems like the logic is directly related towards where the ticket is at any given point.
And Brad, I brought up too that Benedict is the number 2 in the film, but throughout the film he slowly transitions into the number 1 bad guy.
He's a lackey that becomes self-aware.
I know, and that's why that film's smart too, because Schwarzenegger's Jack Slater doesn't catch on as fast as Benedict does. Benedict buys this magic ticket immediately and immediately hatches a plan.
When he shoots his boss, it's just one of the most. It's amazing how dark it is while being extremely hilarious at the same time. And it is a pretty remarkable feat that scene accomplishes. And just him discovering, there's another dimension out there. Like, it's a great performance. Benedict's a wonderful villain.
It's a piece of cake, not a piece of pie.
Yeah.
So speaking of real logic, the other question I had was when Benedict starts pulling people out of movies. So in the diner, he has that reel of whatever the Ripper was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You have to screen the reel with the ticket for someone to come out. So, like, what theaters screened the reel? Did he go back to the Pandora, I think it is, in the movie, that
or
they
maybe
came
he just
out of?
Holds the reel up to light, and then he can see the Ripper, and he holds it up.
That's a deleted scene I want, because that would be a cool visual effect.
Yeah, this is something I was wondering. Like, how does he actually, like a like would the ticket also work on a VHS? Like if he'd gone to the Blockbuster,
I don't know.
he got Jack Slater 3.
I think so. I mean, there's so much you can explore with this, and Brad and I were talking too that right now would be a perfect time for Schwarzenegger to do not a sequel to Last Action Hero, but do a Jack Slater movie. I think it'd be so much fun to see him actually be Jack Slater. That'd be meta on a whole new level.
Use some Netflix
like
de-aging technology.
Yeah.
A Toyota commercial.
Yeah.
I think now would be like a good time if let's just say all the stars aligned and everything, and let's just say that let's see how a Last Action Hero now would occur, because you see all these like old stars coming back to their former roles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How would that play out? Let's say, Danny he's like one of the few small little cult fans of Jack Slater. It's like, we got a new Jack Slater coming out. Arnold's coming back and everything. And everything happens, right? That kind of plays with like how things are now, like all these, because of a brand awareness, right? Like even like what you're wearing now, Mortal Kombat. There's a new film coming out, and there's all the recent Scorpion, because it's all brand awareness thing, right? That's the main thing. So we got the Jack Slater brand. It was popular back in the day. Okay, let's bring it back now and see how it works out. And you do have like all these rabid fans, and maybe online and everything. So it could be interesting to see also play like the more satire and more conversation about like, do these brands actually matter? And what is the shelf life of these brands? Like Jack Slater, let's go to Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs had their time, right? And some of these brands, they had their time back then. Like you can revive it now and you can get a small little surge and everything, but should they last? Like should they be brought back, or what brands stand the test of time and what brands don't? And also with Jack Slater, even him coming back, it's like, why am I going through all these adventures again? Like why can't I just rest? Why can't I just be done with it? So there's some really interesting questions that you can ask if there was a Last Action Hero now playing to our rebranding age, I would say.
I was even thinking while you're giving those as great ideas, you could make it like a Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You could call it like Arnold Schwarzenegger's New Jack Slater. And
that's what I was about to say. Is like the obvious satire is a reboot, like Jack Slater dealing with being replaced.
Yeah.
You could also just think where it's like it's being rebooted, but it's the dark, edgy reboot. And now it's thinking, why is my life even more miserable?
Could even handle the idea of like properties exchanging studios, and like for all the things that first film does address that end up becoming extremely relevant to what we deal with today. There's a lot of stuff that even it couldn't have predicted that you can now address within that. It would be primed to be re-examined. It's another reason why the campaign for the 4K release is essential, because it's a movie that is essentially catered to what we experience as like everybody's self-aware these days. It's not a fad like it was maybe in the early 90s up till maybe Scream comes out before it really blows up financially and critically, I guess. So like it would just be fascinating to see like them give that treatment and even examine it further, like we're doing right now.
Yeah. Favorite moments from Last Action Hero? I'll go first. My favorite moment is towards the beginning when Danny gets sucked in and he's driving around with Jack and he says, the bad guys are in there. And Schwarzenegger goes off on him that says, all I have to do is drive around the neighborhood and point and the bad guys are in there. And then the follow-up when they meet Benedict for the first time. And this is where Schwarzenegger is such a great actor, is he believes that it's bullshit, but he still plays it. But when he says, it's a beautiful day out, we're out killing drug dealers. Are there any inside? And he leaves and Benedict snaps his fingers and the dogs make a pyramid. It's just so bizarre. But at the end of the exchange, he threatens Jack Slater and he pulls out a cigar and he says, why are we wasting my time with a square like you when I could be doing something more dangerous like rearranging my sock drawer? And I love how he doesn't believe Danny, but all of a sudden he switches into the action hero of like, you don't fuck me. That's my favorite moment. Steve, what's your favorite moment from Last Action Hero?
I would say my favorite moment, like honestly, I love the opening of the ending to Jack Slater 3, like the whole thing, because it just plays on that on those 80s like action. You got the Michael Kamen score, you got the Christmas theme and everything, and just Jack Slater just comes in and everything like that. Like I every time I watch that, I want to see that movie. I wish there was like they film sections of it where on a special DVD, the special features, you get to see like parts of Jack Slater 3 and all that. So that's honestly my favorite. My second favorite part is when they go to Leo the Fart's funeral, and the whole sequence with the helicopter and they were shooting into the elevator. That's a crazy stunt, like the whole thing.
We mentioned that too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's action. That's action movie making right there.
Yeah, and I mean, you set off the fart by pulling his finger. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Brad, do you have a favorite moment from Last Action Hero?
Yeah, I've been trying to think about it. At first, I was going to say, again, the opening and its satirization of all the 80s action tropes. But then immediately I jumped to, I kind of want to see the action movie version of Hamlet in full. Yeah. But yeah, the opening, I do like when he crushes the walkie-talkie with his bare hand. Like he would never need it again for the mission.
Of course not.
Then, gosh, there's something later I forgot. Oh, when he's in his apartment and he talks about how he has to deal with like someone trying to assassinate him like every day when he comes home. Like there's always a guy hiding in the closet, and there's all these bullet holes like in the mirror. Because it just always happens.
And in the wall behind him, like in the closet, there's a bunch of bullet holes too. So yes, people are killed constantly.
And then him and Danny keep talking, and he just like the body's just laying on the floor in the wide shot, like like he's not going to do anything about it.
Yeah,
it's just going to stay there.
In your apartment.
Yeah,
why not?
So Zach?
I have two. We've talked about how insane this movie can go and how far it pushes it. The whole Whiskers element, that animated cat by Danny DeVito, like that is just talk about like let's up the ante as much as we can. The fact that Whiskers saves the day by getting the upper hand on F. Murray Abraham, it's a nice moment.
You bring that up, Zach, and what I love about it too is Slater and Decker are arguing in Decker's office, and the kid does a double take because there's a cartoon cat, and he says, "I can prove this movie. A cartoon cat just walked into the police station," and Schwarzenegger says, "It'll do it again tomorrow. Shut up." It's completely normal that there's a cartoon cat.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, LAP. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying. I also like how they say like, yeah, he had his month suspension. That's all he needed. He's fine now.
By the way, LAPD station looks way too clean, way too crisp. That's a wonderful joke in it. But I'm gonna piggyback off Brad with the Hamlet because I do like that attempt to play on the expectation of when you're a kid in school trying to get interested in what they're giving you in the curriculum. But Joan Plowright plays the teacher. She was married to Laurence Olivier, and just begrudgingly mentioning Laurence Olivier's latter-day commercials. Just like it's such a joke. Like, how is this joke in a Arnold Schwarzenegger, albeit action comedy, but action movie regardless? Like it's just a wonderful moment of it.
It's definitely a moment for Zach.
Yeah, it was
like that's it.
Yeah, and I just like Benedict as a character too because he pushes. Him and Arnold gives. This is one of Arnold's best performances, but they both have a point of stretching the limits of their acting and their awareness as characters. Like it's a very astounding piece. So.
I was mentioning too that in the Hamlet moment, it's shot so cool. It has the hero shots, it has the swooping stuff, but how they just highlight some of the accents in it with like the flames or the gun flash. And when he throws the dude through the stained glass and the stained glass turns to color, I mean, that's stuff that is just cool.
Hey, Claudius.
Henry, you've been quiet. Do you have a favorite moment, or do you even like Last Action Hero?
I do. I watched it for the first time this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's one of those things that like 80s and 90s movies are like my blind spot, and so it's like you guys will always be like, "Hey, this movie's amazing." I'm like, "Okay," and then eventually I watch it. I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." But yeah, it's great. I'm not sound like a broken record or anything. My favorite part is also in the beginning, during the third film section, and my favorite part is because they do all like the break into walkie-talkie, the kicking the nuts, and that kind of stuff, and then the reveal. Going back to like. You either are in or you're out in the first like 10 minutes where like in the reveal is the villain is just wielding a medieval axe to like to these children. It's the most absurd thing.
He dumps all his, Jack Slater dumps all his weapons and he's like, "Is that it, sport?" "Yep, that about does it." It's literally like 10 guns and knives. It's so awesome.
Or the thing that Zach mentioned about when they go to the police station and it's basically a hotel lobby.
It's a police station. I would believe that like also exists in Judge Dredd or what else?
It's a movie where you have to go back and Demolition Man and pause because Brad and I were pointing out when he puts in the tape of talking to his ex-wife, and if you look at the other names of the tapes that he puts on, it's like my twin brother did it. It's brilliant. I want to be the prop master for Last Action Hero.
That's the thing, yeah. There's all these like little things like when you like really stop and really watch it over and over again, it's like you slowly like pick things out, right? And if you know like almost like the history of the characters and everything, like F. Murray Abraham, right? Don't trust him. He killed Mozart. Like who would watch Amadeus? And also with Laurence Olivier and everything, and his ex-wife there, like and all that such. Oh, speaking of which, I have that figure, the Hamlet Jack Slater figure.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Where do you get a Slater? Was that part of the toy line?
Yeah, part of the Last Action Hero toy line. Wait, just give me a sec.
Cool.
One second. Let me just grab it.
Really quickly, let's acknowledge Frank McRae as Lieutenant Decker.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
The moment he just yells Slater, like, it is just brilliant the way they handle every trope in that film. It's astonishing.
It is.
I am like, yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh wow!
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, there it is. I just looked it up on eBay.
God.
Does he has a? Is that a rocket launcher he has?
He has a skull which you can throw.
Yep.
Because to be or not to be, not to be. Then you got the utility belt with the grenade, a bunch of slugs. Then you got the sword, the dagger. Then over here we have dynamite tossing Jack Slater. We got Axewing, Ripper, and we got the Corvette, Slater's Corvette. So
Nice.
Nice.
I got this off Amazon. Yeah.
That is
Some,
so awesome.
It's from Mattel, the Jack Slater action figures.
My favorite Last Action Hero score I ever had is I was at a comic store and I got a box of the trading cards unopened for $6.
Wow.
Oh,
and
shit.
it was just sitting in a case and I knew I had to get it. And now I got to make a set and put it in a binder so it'll look really cool. They said the box is only going to come with 2 holographic cards. I got 4 of them. So a sweet deal.
Right?
I'm on eBay right now. If anyone wants that figure, you can get it for $21.76.
That's it?
That's not bad.
That's
in the box.
good.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
They also have like figure stands with the poster
Really?
engraved in it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know there's a talking Jack Slater, but that one's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Like, how expensive we talking?
I think on eBay like $80. That's pretty
Jesus.
expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's actual Schwarzenegger, though, see, that's the thing. Is it Schwarzenegger doing it, or is it a Schwarzenegger impersonator? Because in Mortal Kombat, the new one, they have the Terminator in it, and it's a really bad Schwarzenegger impersonator.
Oh, that's on him, right?
No, and so some like when he says "get over here" sounds really good, but every fighter does an intro, and sometimes you go, "Whoa, not good, man, not good."
Yeah.
But his likeness is in it, but that's all right. So
Yeah.
the
But then
likeness is cool.
it's the T-800 from Dark Fate, right? Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's cool when you like eviscerate him. He has a exoskeleton or endoskeleton that like it, so it's pretty sweet.
That's another thing I'm trying to like find. Remember those like old T2 toys where
Oh yeah,
you can make you get the exoskeleton but you can make the rubber like human figure out
Yep.
of it. The plate, yeah. So I'm trying to find that. Like,
I wonder if like the rubber for those like brittled and would fall apart because what is it, or is it just normal rubber? I've never seen it in the flesh.
I think it's just normal rubber, but
Oh, so that'd work well.
but I just want that playset, just to make these like Terminators.
Steve, we're on the same page here. I have action
See?
figures. I love it.
See, man, now we just need the 4K of Last Action Hero.
I know it. Brad and I, because Brad's a designer by trade, we were talking about how we'd make it look, and we thought it'd be cool if you could get a slip cover that said Jack Slater 4, and when you slip it up, it'd be Last Action Hero.
Whoa.
I think that'd be a cool design. I mean, it'd be a really big in joke, but if you were on board with it, like the movie, dude, I'd buy 30 of them and hand them out. Like, watch this movie.
If it's like a collector's edition, I think we could get away with it. Like, it's not
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be slick, and so
Yeah,
I mean,
well, what you do is you put one of those like flaps over it that says like Last Action Hero on the top or something.
Mhm.
Because I mean, we got to make money off this, guys. If we're gonna make this documentary and this Blu-ray,
It's not enough to demand that they do it. They also have to pay us.
totally.
Exactly.
I keep on tweeting Schwarzenegger every day, and he has not responded. So,
have we
One
tried
day,
tweeting at that kid?
Oh,
Kid
Austin
more
O'Brien?
Danny?
is also Brian on Twitter?
We can find him.
Hey, I loved you in Prehysteria too. Just bring up Prehysteria, see how he does it. Anything else you want to say, Steve? Do we miss anything?
No, but I would say that if you're just listening to this and you haven't experienced Last Action Hero, like I would just really do and enjoy the ride because it's one of those movies where you always hear like it's a broken record where when it first came out it was dismissed, like everyone forgot about it and it's this big joke, but when you actually watch it and years later it's found new life and you'll understand why. That's kind of like the lasting power of this movie. And when and it's just incredible, man. And yeah,
That's
the main
awesome. Well, thank you for reaching out to us and giving us an hour of your time.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, man. Thank you
No.
for like talking like Slater.
Oh, anytime. You have our Twitter handle. You're more than welcome to join us anytime.
Sure.
But thank you for joining us. Brad, Henry, Zach, anything else you want to say?
I mean, I would just say that if you, as Steve said, if you've treated this movie as just like, oh, this is one of Arnold's bombs, like you really need to reverse that in your head and give this a shot. I think this is a film that I saw initially and didn't think much of until you guys, when I started recording with you guys more often, you guys were talking it up so much that I went back to it and then just really got sucked into it. So yeah, I would definitely give this a shot if you haven't. And yes, please get us a 4K, because the version I streamed on Amazon, it needs some work, guys. Like, just in general, I don't know how the Blu-ray looks, but
there's some scenes in the Blu-ray that have lots of digital noise, lots of compression.
Yeah, and I know
colors are off.
Yeah, and the effect shots, the effects shots and plates that they have in that film definitely need some form of touch up that I'm sure you can do at Sony's disposal. So yeah.
Or Criterion. Come on, guys.
Oh god.
Honestly, this should be on Criterion. If you really think about it, if you really like what we just talked about right now, this is like definitely a Criterion movie.
Listen, if Armageddon is a Criterion movie, then so can this. So.
You're right.
I should make a mock-up of the Criterion cover for Last Action Hero so we can start tagging Criterion.
You should, and then make it Jack Slater, though. Make it Jack Slater with like a bullet, like cutting the screen or the thing in half. That'd be awesome. Get to work.
Listen, they came up with that whole Godzilla Criterion set, right?
Exactly.
And like the first movie is incredible. There's all these like the themes about post-war Japan and everything, nuclear holocaust, whatever. But everything else in it, like Godzilla versus Rodan and everything, like, come on, what are the themes in that and everything, right?
Yep.
But let's look at, like, if you really, I'm like, no bullshit here, but Last Action Hero, what we talked about, if you put that movie up with any big franchise movie today, like, it speaks a lot. And this is back in '93. Hell, it's even speaking about the movie that toppled it with Jurassic Park, now Jurassic World. Like, think about it. Like, all these like rebooted franchises and everything. That's what Last Action Hero like talked about.
You're right. And you know what? If they don't make a 4K or a Criterion of this, that would be a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I just brought it all the way back around.
Nice.
There you go.
That's what I did.
The host.
That's right. Steve, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. That was lots of fun. International flavor today. Next week, I don't know what we're doing on Real Nerds Podcast, but stay tuned. Quarantines are slowly being lifted. Are they lifting it in Toronto yet?
Slowly. We're kind of like going into stage 1 and allowing like certain retail stores open, curbside pickups and all that stuff, and allowing people to go out a bit. Like, it can still work. We just got to be smart about it. As long as we know what we're doing, then we'll be fine.
Yep. 3 of us are in Colorado, and Colorado's in Safer at Home right now, where you can do curbside pickups, and some retails are opening. I think in 2 weeks they're going to start doing restaurants at half capacity.
Oh,
so
that's good.
So just stay at home, watch Last Action Hero, watch Conan the Barbarian. You know, just enjoy being at home, like we are.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Steve. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate
it. Thank you, guys.
That was
fun.
That was lots of fun.
Awesome.
And your passion is, I feel it. I love it.
Hey, you know, like, that's the thing. Like, now, like, when you get discussions about like movies like this, it brings about new life, right? And who knows, right? Like, you guys talking about this movie, and it just small little thing just sparks it up, right?
That's what we're hoping for.
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Just
what is in Lawrence of Arabia is like. All big things have small beginnings or something like that.
Yep.
When he's holding onto the small little flame and everything.
Yep. Yes. 100% right.
I want John McTiernan to give Ryan and Brad a hug after this whole campaign has been successful.
Is he out of prison yet?
Oh, that's right. Right. No, just Arnold then. Just Arnold. Yeah.
I take it. I take a hug from Arnold Schwarzenegger for sure.
Ryan, come over here, buddy.
And I'd be like, oh, you're wrapping me up in your muscular arms.
Come with me and I'll give you a ride to my tank. It'll be rather fun.
That'll be sick.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.